Hello friends, you are welcome again in the botany practical. So today I am going to start the botany practical. The title of today's practical is normal secondary growth in dicotyledonous stem. So you must know the definition of secondary growth. We can define the secondary growth: the increase in diameter of root as well as stem due to addition of secondary tissues in the form of secondary xylem and secondary phloem by the activity of vascular cambium, and addition of non-vascular tissues in the form of periderm by the activity of quark cambium is commonly called as secondary growth. That means due to secondary growth, increase in diameter of root and increase in diameter of stem of dicotyledonous plants as well as gymnospermic plant takes place. So when secondary growth begins, when plant attains certain amount of primary growth, when few number of branches, lateral roots, number of leaves increases, automatically the demand of the raw food material in the form of nutrients and water also increases. So plant starts the secondary growth in order to fulfill the demand of the plant, that is more conduction of nutrients, more conduction of the food prepared by the leaves, as well as if the number of branches, number of leaves increases, the root system and shoot system have to bear the weight of all aerial organs. That means plant also requires additional mechanical tissues. That means plant requires more conducting tissues as well as more mechanical tissues. And for fulfilling the demand of this plant, secondary growth begins in all dicotyledonous plants as well as gymnospermic plants. It may be root or it may be stem of dicot as well as gymnospermic plant. When secondary growth begins, what happens actually? So before secondary growth, primary structure we know very well. Uppermost layer is epidermis, it is followed by hypodermis, it is followed by cortex, innermost layer of cortex is endodermis, endodermis is followed by pericycle. So this pericycle layer encloses the conducting tissue stand in the form of vascular bundle. In all dicot plants, vascular bundles are arranged in a ring. Each vascular bundle possesses this xylem at the inner side and phloem at the outer side. In between primary xylem and primary phloem bundles, there is a strip of lateral meristem known as cambium. So this cambium is known as intrafascicular cambium. So when secondary growth begins, in between two vascular bundles, there is a medullary range. There are medullary rays. So cells of the medullary rays becomes secondarily meristematic, and another strips of the cambium develops in between the vascular bundles. So these strips of the cambium are commonly known as interfascicular cambium strips. Later on, due to longitudinal growth, this intrafascicular cambium joins with intrafascicular cambium and complete ring of cambium is developed. When complete ring of cambium is developed, the actual secondary growth begins. So when secondary growth begins, the inner cells, inner layer of cambium redivides constantly and produces the secondary xylem at the inner side. At the same time, the outer layer of the cambium cells divides tangentially and produces or adds the secondary phloem cells at the outer side. So this red band at the inner side of this white band is indicative of vascular cambium. Red band indicates addition of secondary xylem due to activity of this vascular cambium. Peripheral side is occupied by secondary phloem. So secondary phloem is added by the cambium at its peripheral side, and secondary xylem is added by this cambium at its inner side. So in sunflower, only vascular tissue formation takes place because it is an annual plant. Life cycle of this plant completes within few months. That's why epidermis remain intact. But in woody plants, perennial plants or dicot, the another step in the secondary growth begins. When this vascular cambium adds another layer of xylem. Previous layer pushed towards the pith. Again, another layer of phloem is produced by this vascular cambium towards the peripheral side. So, due to constant addition of secondary xylem bands at the inner side and secondary phloem bands at the outer side, it creates the pressure. The centrally added secondary tissues in the form of secondary xylem, secondary phloem creates the pressure on peripheral layers like cortex as well as epidermis. Epidermis may rupture and plant requires another protective tissue, another protective layer. At that time, some cells in the cortex, they become secondarily meristematic and forms the another cambium. It is known as quark cambium. So this is the another white band shown here in the chart. This cambium is secondary in origin. At the time of emergency, when plant requires mechanical protective tissues, when epidermis ruptures, at that time some cells in the cortex becomes secondarily meristematic and forms the quark cambium. So this quark cambium is also having activity of cell division as like this vascular cambium. The cells of this quark cambium here, this quark cambium redivides and produces the quark cells at its outer side, and at the inner side the quark cambium cells redivides and produces the secondary parenchyma cells. That means this three-layer zone, quark cambium, quark layers at its periphery and secondary cortex at its inner side. So this three-layer zone of cells is commonly known as periderm. So formation of periderm is the second step or second stage during the process of secondary growth. First stage or step in the secondary growth is the addition of vascular tissues. So vascular tissue formation in the form of secondary xylem and secondary phloem takes place by the activity of this vascular cambium, and this periderm formation, that means non-vascular tissue formation. Non-vascular tissue formation means periderm formation takes place due to the activity of this quark cambium. That means during the process of entire secondary growth, there are two steps: formation of vascular tissues and formation of non-vascular tissues in the form of periderm. So, if we take the transverse section of any woody plant and observe under microscope, it shows the endoderm also. What is the meaning of this endoderm? So this is the cambium. This cambium adds the secondary xylem. This is the secondary xylem added by the cambium initially. Next band of cambium produced by this cambium, xylem band produced by this cambium, is just lying below this cambium stem. That means this is the first band of xylem. This is the second band of xylem. Third band will be here. Fourth band will be here. That means year after year, cambium remains functional throughout the life of the plant, producing bands of the secondary xylem at its inner side and secondary phloem at its outer side. So, if we observe this secondary xylem, band of secondary xylem, it shows the large size cells and more number of cells. This large band. This secondary xylem is produced by this cambium during favorable season. Favorable season, that means monsoon season, rainy season. That means during rainy season, large number of leaves are added by the plant, large number of branches are added by the plant, large number of roots are also developed. Conditions are favorable. That's why plant requires more water, more nutrients, and to conduct more water and more nutrients, this cambium produces large number of xylem cells, and these cells are comparatively large in size. So this xylem, secondary xylem produced by this cambium during spring season, or favorable season is commonly known as spring root. And afterwards, during winter season, mostly trees shed their leaves, perennial plants shed their leaves, and automatically demand of the water and nutrient decreases. At that time, cambium ceases its activity and produces very small size and very less number of cells of secondary xylem. So this small band of secondary xylem is indicative of the secondary xylem cells produced by this cambium during winter season, that means autumn season. So this is known as autumn wood, this is known as spring wood. That means this autumn wood and spring wood are produced by the cambium in 1 year. So if we measure such bands by taking the section of the wood, large huge tall trees, if we observe the wooden pieces in the sawmills, we can observe the brown color bands or rings. So these rings are nothing but the annual rings. That means these two bands, secondary xylem bands, band of secondary xylem during spring season known as spring wood, band of secondary xylem produced by this cambium during autumn season, it is known as autumn wood. This autumn wood and spring wood constitutes one annual ring. Such many annual rings are developed, and these annual rings are beneficial for calculating the age of any woody tree. That means with the help of these annual rings, we can also calculate the age of the tall trees. That means I have told you earlier. I am going to summarize the normal secondary growth. So in normal secondary growth, when plant needs more mechanical tissues and more conducting tissues, at that time these new bands of the cambium are produced from medullary rays in between the vascular bundles known as intravesicular cambium. This intravesicular cambium joins with intervesicular cambium, forms the complete ring of cambium. When complete ring of cambium is developed, it starts to produce secondary xylem at inner side, secondary phloem at outer side. Constantly, this cambium, vascular cambium, adds the secondary xylem at inner side, secondary phloem at outer side. So constantly, due to addition of the secondary xylem and secondary phloem, the epidermis ruptures and plant requires another protective covering. At that time, some cells in the cortex becomes meristematic secondarily and produces these quark layers or quark cells, which are thick-walled, suberized, impervious to water as well as gases, which can protect the inner tissues from desiccation as well as entry of pathogens like microbe, like bacteria, viruses, etc. That means function of epidermis is done by these quark layers. So these quark layers are followed by this quark cambium. Quark cambium is followed by secondary cortex. This three-layer zone is known as periderm. That means formation of periderm, that is non-vascular tissue formation, takes place in the second stage of secondary growth. So when plant was in the epidermis of plant, stomata was there, but epidermis is totally replaced by these quark layers. And for internal gaseous exchange, each and every living cell requires oxygen and CO2 produced during respiration of living cell. It may be thrown outside from the plant body through the minute apertures known as stomata. So stomata are present in young stem epidermis. When stem becomes mature, when periderm formation takes place, at the regions of stomata, this quark cambium behaves differently and produces loosely arranged cells which are exposed to the environment. They can take part in exchange of gases. These open gaps with loosely arranged cells in periderm region, they are commonly known as lenticels. So if we observe the old or mature stem of dicot and take the transverse section, stain with sapranine and observe under microscope, we can visualize lenticels, periderm, xylem bands, phloem bands, vascular cambium, etc. So that's all about the normal secondary growth in dicotyledonous stem.
किती मिनिटं झाली?